lines, come on. Nothing new.
My name is Stephen Tagle. I am number 50, and I play center and nose guard on defense.
My name is Zachary Lastra, number 12, quarterback and wide receiver on offense, and defensive end and defensive back.
Strong sides. On my out, I'm better at catching, and
my name is Jared Schenkel. I'm number 5. I play running back and linebacker and sometimes defensive end.
I mean, your first move is that arm. It's a pivot.
Which Lonnie handled the defensive side of the ball, and then Jeff Arrington. So I handled the offense. Lonnie helped me a lot with it. Lonnie handled the defense. Jeff worked with him on that. And Jeff was our calm. He kept us, he was the glue.
Strategist, and just overall just helping the whole team, whether it was special teams, offense, defense. It was my role to just speak into situations and just help out where I could.
Of course, Brother Randy, he's an elder. He's, he started this work, the fellowship here, and basically got the school started too 20 years ago.
That Christ is in me. Now, because Christ is in, I have a treasure. Now I have more than Randy Schenkel. I have a treasure in me. And how do I get this treasure out to these young men and them be a partaker?
We needed this so that we can continue fathering. I think every tool, but sports, athletics, doesn't matter if it's any form of education, wouldn't matter what's about. I mean, it's got to be a tool used for the glory of God.
Reese, my whole thing for the years, it's working greatly now, is to train you guys that will teach other men also. Yeah. Now you guys got the part. Now can you get around young men and give them the part that you got? Yes, very easy. And so can you. You can do that now. It's easy to do that now because that part's in you.
Things I believe that was lacking in our school was the athletic part.
So what we did was we laid out a plan on starting the athletics. What would we start first? Things like that. And we had a little outline. And we started with your most inexpensive sports that you could just quickly start up. Cross country, soccer, things we could get started pretty much immediately. And so we did that for a year.
Well, I'd say 0.
0.
I never believed it was possible.
I knew there were only 2 or 3 or 4 that really wanted to play.
No chance of playing football in Marshall unless you went to Marshall High. Then they brought Pop Warner, and by the time that they had Pop Warner, I was too old.
You had a choice. You're at this Christian school, small Christian school.
Barely have 11 people in our high school. Basically counted out the chances of ever having football.
We've got 60 K through 12, 25 in high school. Football, there's no chance. It just wasn't looking good. And then some of them said, well, I want to go to Marshall High.
Finding a way how I could play without going to school there.
So I was like, maybe I could find a way just to walk on to Marshall High School, get a little bit of experience there.
And their parents were like, no, you're not going to a public school and get all that negative influence just to play football. And in the process, I was at the Texas Christian Athletic League meeting, which was in San Antonio. That's our governing sports organization that I found through this process of getting into sports. And at one of these meetings, I'm there talking. We're with all the coaches. We're having like a little, conference.
When I first met Guy, I met him at a TCAL meeting. I was impressed with him there, just his zealous heart and and just all his curiosity about the game of football. They actually had a soccer team, and he was there at the summer meeting.
And I hear some coaches, some older coaches in the corner talking about football. I saw this organization as kind of a smaller organization compared to the public school entities that I'd been a part of. And so I was asking them, so I finally got brave enough and said, hey, what are y'all talking about? And they said, 6-man football. And I said, 6-man football, what is that? And they said, well, it's football, it's just 6 men.
And then he approached me and said, have you ever heard of six-man football? And I was like, no such thing. You know, I've always watched 11-man, NFL, college football. I was like, what's six-man?
Six-man football was invented in 1934 by a high school coach in Chester, Nebraska, named Stephen Epler, who wanted to find a way for his players to have the opportunity to play the game of football. 4 years later, the game made its way to the Lone Star State, that today tops over 250 teams. The dimensions of the field are 80 yards long and 40 yards wide. The rules of the great game are the quarterback cannot run on a direct snap no matter the pressure created by the defense. Any player on the playing field can receive a pitch, flick, or a pass. A touchdown is 6 points. The field goal after attempt is 2 points, and the run-pass point conversion is 1 point.
Based on the number of guys that we have in this school, that would be a great, it's something that we need to look into.
And I was like, hey guys, we're going to play football.
I didn't believe it. I thought, oh, sounds good. We'll play football, yeah. When I'm on the field with pads on, I'll believe it, you know.
First I was like, yeah, okay, because of all the times that we had tried for football before, it had never happened, so I really didn't think much about it.
I don't know, I can't read minds, but it felt like it just went kind of, felt like a lead balloon. But I felt like it was God, so I kept with it, I stayed with it. And then slowly, people started jumping on the bandwagon.
I believe, yes, first that Jesus Christ heard the prayers of the boys that they wanted to play, and he fulfilled their desires. And of course, at that moment, it was birthed. Six-man football was birthed in this fellowship.